Hi, this is Branson Man. You can find my website at bransonman.com. That will forward you to my other URL or website, hotelrevenueman.com. They both go to the same place. If you have a question, you can send an email to ask@bransonman.com or chris@hotelrevenueman.com. Just finished a video about why a hotel was losing revenue. We talked about going through different reports to find the smoking gun or the one thing or two things that stand out that show that why revenue is way down. Well, working with this hotel, it seemed like nearly every category was down. It wasn't just one or two things that stood out. And so what that tells me is there's probably something really big that is affecting all of the categories. And so it feels like something with marketing. If last year they spent $200,000 on marketing, and then the marketing manager got fired, and now no one's picked it up and they're spending zero, well, then people aren't going to find their website or their property, and you're going to lose a lot of revenue. So I feel like there's something like that going on. So I was talking to the general manager in our weekly consulting meetings, and I started to teach him my hotel revenue management system, and I'll talk more about that in future videos. And then I asked him about marketing, because we couldn't find anything sticking out in those reports. And I said, how much did you spend on marketing last year? And he didn't know. Well, how much are you spending on marketing this year? He said, well, we don't do any marketing. I said, okay. People that owned the hotel previously, how much did they spend on marketing? Because maybe they were successful because they were doing something differently. He said he didn't know. I said, okay, well, tell me about your AdWords strategy. And he didn't know what that was. So I thought, there are probably a lot of people out there, even in significant positions, that don't know what that means. And it's vitally important. It's maybe the absolute most important thing in the success of your hotel. Either that or good review scores. So that's how important it is. So in marketing, there's online, there is a keywords strategy that you need to know and you need to have. This is what that means. I just typed hotels in Branson. Branson is a tourist destination. So a lot of times people are going to go hotels in Branson. Now what happens when I type that in is there are tons of auctions going on in a split second. So what happens is a keyword strategy, most of the times that's code for AdWords. AdWords is what's owned by Google, and that's what they call their auctions. They call it AdWords. So technically it's keywords. You can also have it on other search engines, and they call their program something different, but it's all a keyword strategy. So what happens is your hotel is going to have a Google account, and you can log in there. It's best to find a professional to do this because they know what they're doing. You can log in there, and you can decide what words you want to bid on. So there are a couple strategies. One is bidding on unbranded words. Unbranded words are words that are just generic. Nobody owns them. They're not an actual name of a business. So when I type in hotels in Branson, that's probably the number one thing that somebody going to Branson is going to type in to look for a hotel. So people are going to hotels are going to log into their account and say, and other businesses and say, when someone searches for that, I want my website to come up on the top. This is a very valuable space. So they then type in and they tell Google, I'm willing to spend X amount of money to get somebody to get on the top so that somebody will click. And when somebody clicks my site, Google, I'll give you this much money for a click. Sometimes it's pennies, sometimes it's dollars. So this is where an expert who knows about websites can help you out. They're going to help you with the Google Analytics. That's another program, and they can track this. And they will say, when your website shows up in searches 10 times, 1 out of 10, those 10 times, someone will click your website. Then they can follow those clicks to your website, and they can say, out of 10 people that visit your website, 1 of them will call the front desk. And then they can say, they can actually tie in your phones too by tracking, and say 1 out of every 3 calls to your front desk is a booking. So if it takes 10 people, if you have to show up 10 times in results to get people to visit your site, that's 1 click. It's pay per click is what it's called. So when they click on your website here in these results, then Google's going to charge you whatever amount you said you were willing to spend. Let's say $1. Then 10 people have to visit your site before they call. So that costs you 10 clicks. So now you're up to $10 for that guest. And it costs $10 to get someone to call your phone, and it takes 3 of those calls to get a booking. So that costs $30. So the other strategy is not buying unbranded words, because, spoiler alert, they're really expensive. Really, really expensive. And I'll give you an example here in just a second. So the cheaper strategy is to buy a specific name. So we've talked before about the fictional Wagon Wheel Inn. There's no. It looks like there is such a thing in other cities. Wagon Wheel Inn. There's no such thing in Branson. So if I own the Wagon Wheel Inn and I say I cannot spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars trying to compete with the big dogs by buying unbranded words, I'm just going to buy the name of my hotel. Now, what this tells me, when somebody types in Wagon Wheel Inn, maybe Branson, Missouri, that tells me they know about my hotel. Maybe they stayed here before, or some other marketing I've done has gotten to them. They are looking for my website, and they probably want to book with me because I've already established a relationship with them, or somebody told them about me. So you can buy just your name. There aren't going to be as many people searching for that, and there's not going to be as many people bidding for that. Maybe no one. So you want to bid, because others that might bid are Expedia, hotels, Priceline. They'll bid on the name of your hotel sometimes. They'll bid on the name of your hotel sometimes. So as people are looking for you, it directs to their website and book through them, and then they'll get that cut. They'll get their commission. So let's say we decided it costs $30. Let's say it costs $30 for me to get a booking by the clicks and the phone calls and the other things we established when I put the term Wagon Wheel in. You need to know your metrics, and it works like this. Let's say your average daily rate, ADR, is $60. That's what a room average usually sells for at your place. You can find that information in your property management system, your PMS, what your ADR is. Do a year to date, and it will spit out that number. Let's say it's $60. Then you find your average length of stay. So look for your average length of stay, and that should be in your property management system. Let's say it's 2.5 days. Some people stay 1 day, some people stay 5, but on average it's 2.5 year to date. So you know an average booking is going to be a $60 average daily rate, and it's going to be 2.5 days long. 60 times 2.5 is $150, and for example, I'm using United States dollars. So if it costs you $30 to get someone to your site, and the average stay is 2.5 days, and that results in a $150 sale, you realize that $30 out of every $150 is going to marketing. That's about 20%. Well, if you were to look at one of these OTAs, these websites that resell your rooms, and they're charging 20%, then it's better to go ahead and buy your own name and get them to book direct, because then they will be loyal to you and not loyal to these folks. Now, it's important, I think, to do business with these OTAs. You just have to have a balanced strategy. Get some bookings from each of them and also work on getting some to come direct. Just like investing, you want to be diversified. So you need to know what your keywords are that you're bidding on and how much it's costing you. I would suggest finding a professional to do that. It'll probably cost you $100 an hour, and it's worth way more than that. So don't worry about the cost. They will set up your account. They will set up the ads. They will ask you how much you want to spend, and then they can track and show you how to set up things so that you can track how effective each of the keywords is, and then maybe once a week meet with you and continually refine it. And as they do that, it actually gets cheaper for you to advertise on sites like Google, because Google recognizes that you're doing well and they start to give you discounts. So it's important to know your AdWords or keyword strategy. A company that I use, and I have no connection with them, is 10X Digital. Let's see. I haven't talked to them in a long time. Let's see if they're still in business here. I think this is them. So this is 10X Digital. I have no connection to them. I don't get any kickbacks from them, but they did exceptional. I just gave them, I don't know what the rate was, $110, $100 an hour, and we'd meet like once a week, and they took the time. It was a little extra up front because they had to build our entire account, our AdWords, and find professionals. I don't care who you use. Make sure they know what they're doing and just let them do it. Don't have time messing with the hotel to learn another industry. They do it, professionals do it, and they do it well. So just check in with them, with a professional that can help you get that set up. If you are a flagged property or branded property, then it's possible that the fees that you pay to have that branded name on your hotel, they might be taking that and they already are buying your hotel's name and they have a keyword AdWords strategy in place. So check with your district manager or whoever your sponsor is at that hotel name brand flag property, and they should be able to give you some guidance. They'll either tell you if you need to do it or give you guidance on how to do it, or they'll tell you it's already taken care of. All right. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch my videos, and please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, and as I come out with new videos, then you'll get notification and you can stay up to date with what I'm working on. Thanks for your time.